Now, while the virologists are tracking the pandemic, what are our politicians doing? Well, playing politics, because now it's becoming increasingly clear that both at the center and in several state governments, there was a lack of anticipation of this second COVID surge. And predictably, the opposition is gunning for the Modi government. Take a look at this report from Anand Patel.
Over 2 lakh COVID cases in 24 hours. Maharashtra under lockdown. Weekend lockdown in the national capital. Faced with a wave unprecedented in its magnitude, the central government and states are rushing to check the surge. The centre has already announced it will fast-track emergency use approvals to vaccines cleared in foreign countries. It has also given relief to lakhs of students who are due to appear for board exams. The opposition is not impressed. The Congress is accusing the centre of ignoring its suggestions.
आप इवेंटबाजी बंद कीजिए, जिसको भी वैक्सीन की जरूरत है उनको दिलवाइए, वैक्सीन का एक्सपोर्ट बंद कीजिए और जो हमारे गरीब भाई बहन हैं उनको इनकम सपोर्ट एकदम दीजिए.
The Congress, in fact, is claiming credit for the decisions taken by the NDA government. On April 8, Rahul Gandhi wrote a letter to the Prime Minister making 7 demands, including fast-track approval to other vaccine candidates and stopping the export of vaccines. On April 10th, Sonia, in her message to the PM, urged all vaccine candidates awaiting clearances be given the go-ahead. On April 11th, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra wrote to the Education Minister, Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, on board exams.
कोरोना से लड़ना तू मैं का विषय नहीं हो सकता. अस वर्सेस कोरोना डिबेट है और कृपया करके आप देश में राजनीतिक छीछा लेदर एक दूसरे पे छीटाकशी की बजाय अच्छा होगा विपक्ष के सुझाव मान कोरोना से लड़िए, कांग्रेस से नहीं.
लोगों में किस तरह से आपदा आफत बने इसका काम ये 1 साल से कर रहे हैं. अरे भैया, बड़े बड़े लोग ठीक हो गए, आप भी वैक्सीन लगा लो, अपने स्वास्थ्य का भी ध्यान रखो, गेट वेल सून. राजनीति बहुत होती रहेगी, फिर कर लेना.
Congress party leaders claim that it's due to the intense pressure mounted by its top leaders that the government buckled and announced 2 key decisions within 24 hours. But critics of Congress party feel that its leaders need to do more groundwork and hit the streets more often than just creating noise on the social media to improve its tally in the parliament in 2024.
While the political parties squabble, what remains a fact is the political leadership has failed in setting an example. Whether it is allowing the Kumbh Mela during the surge or electioneering defying all COVID protocols, the men in Khadi have let down the Aam Aadmi. With Anand Patel, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise the big questions then for our political face-off today. Were the centre and states not prepared for the second COVID wave? Have our leaders failed the COVID governance test? Is there a need for a complete course correction? Should all political rallies, for starters, be called off to set an example? Joining me now, Syed Zafar Islam, BJP's MP, Priyanka Chaturvedi, Shiv Sena MP, Shama Mohammed, Congress spokesperson, Raghav Chadda, Aam Aadmi Party MLA. Let's come to each of you one by one. Syed Zafar Islam, the optics at the moment are awful. You've got cases rising 2 lakhs per day, and you've got the Prime Minister and senior leaders of your party campaigning amidst large crowds in Bengal, where again the fatality rate is rising, where test positivity rates are rising, and a BJP-ruled government in Uttarakhand allowing the Kumbh Mela where large crowds gathered. Explain the optics of it. Shouldn't our leaders be setting an example when it comes to social distancing and masking?
Well, Rajdeep, all our leaders have repeatedly requested people to follow the protocol of wearing masks and maintaining the social distancing. As far as the dates of the elections are concerned, it is not our responsibility. It is not the responsibility of a particular political party, but it is the responsibility of the election commission when the elections to be held. And
but
those
you're
dates are
holding
being
large
decided by
road shows, Mr. Zafar Islam. You're holding large road shows surrounded by people. What example? Where is the do gaz ki duri? Please show me one road show where there is do gaz ki duri. I mean, come on. Today, Mamata Banerjee is saying, let's call off these several rounds. Let's have all the elections in one round. Why not even consider that?
Well, when she has realized that she will lose the election, that's when she is making this kind of a call. Had she been making this call upfront, at the initial stage, then probably you could have given some credence to her statement. But today, will you give any credence to her statement when she see that there is a defeat which she is staring at this point of time? That's why she is making this kind of a statement only to mislead the people.
Sir, road shows. Why not call off road shows? Why not call off road shows and political rallies? Every road show, there is no do gaz ki duri.
Rajdeep, we have always maintained and requested people to follow the protocols. If there is something which is lacking, and I'm sure that the leaders will definitely request time and again to people to correct it. But let me ask you once again, that is it only the BJP rally where you see these kinds of social distancing norms have been somehow not been followed, or you see everywhere? So if the rallies are being held by
but sir, the messaging starts from the top. The messaging starts from the top, sir. The messaging starts from the top. I agree, all parties are flouting norms, but the messaging starts from the top. Can the Prime Minister sermonize on do gaz ki duri and then keep going on campaign rallies one after the other?
I think it is important for you also to realize that the development, what has happened in last few days, elections are being held in last 1 month, and the election campaigns are being held in last 1 month, or maybe prior to that. So if some new developments are there, then I'm sure all the political parties will definitely come together and find a solution, something which works for everyone. But when you are referring to Mamata Banerjee, you must understand that she is staring at defeat. That's why she is making this kind of statement.
Okay, let's come to you, Priyanka Chaturvedi, because Maharashtra is the worst affected state. And what do we see? Your leader, Sanjay Raut, yesterday was also addressing a large election rally in Belgaum, where there are elections taking place. Are we saying that rules are different for VVIPs? You have strong curfew rules in place for the Aam Aadmi, but the politicians continue to violate the rules. So Zafar Islam is saying, while we blame the BJP, every political party at election time is doing the same thing.
Very interesting that you pull out one such example to beat us with a stick, which is not the case as far as we are concerned. Every single political event that we have done, Shiv Sena has done, we have followed all the protocol norms possible. Let me also remind you, Rajdeep, when you talk about hypocrisy, let me tell you what hypocrisy is. When the health minister comes on record and he says it's the people of the country to blame, that they have become so casual in their approach for COVID, that is why we are seeing large numbers of COVID cases. And he's the same health minister who goes and retweets everything, every election rally that the Prime Minister of India is attending. The same with the Prime Minister of India. The Prime Minister of India said, oh, you people have become very casual about it, and y'all thought COVID is out of our lives, but you need to practice that. What happens? You go out in an election rally, you're not masked up, and you expect large amounts of crowds to come and hear you. We can all... And I don't know when would be the right time to please address this. When I was listening to Syed ji, all I'd like to say to Islamji is there has been a 450% rise in West Bengal cases. There has been a 300% case rise in Tamil Nadu, 111% in Kerala, all the election going states. Maharashtra, of course, has a caseload. We are not hiding our numbers. We are absolutely transparent in our data. We have the highest test record. We also have the highest vaccination drive that is going on. But that the fact is that we are not hiding numbers, and it is out there, and we have been struggling with it since the phase 1. And it is only our chief minister who continued to say there's going to be a second wave. And let me just tell you, this should have come from the health ministry. Health ministry should have warned the country that there is a second wave coming. And perhaps they could have also consulted ECI before they drew up this entire elaborate election plan. What is ECI doing? And I continue to question, it is ECI and all political parties who are into this election campaign mode that they should take a call.
Can I
just comment for 10 seconds?
Can I also ask you, Priyanka Chaturvedi, will the Shiv Sena stand out against religious congregations like we have in the Kumbh? I find a radio silence across political parties when it comes to the Kumbh. Last year, everyone was targeting the Tablighi Jamaat, but no one targets the Kumbh Mela. Is it because this is a Hindu tradition, Hindu culture? No one wants to be seen on the wrong side of it, particularly with elections in Uttarakhand next year. Why don't political parties take a strong stand on religious festivals also?
No, one second. Shiv Sena has been very clear. We are governing Maharashtra. We have stopped any kind of religious congregations. We were, of course, the opposition continued to accuse us of pandering to whatever, not pandering to our religion, etc. But we said, listen, this is a strategy we've adopted, and every single religion will have to stop their congregation. We had also got a Tablighi Jamaat event in Maharashtra, which we had called off. We did not allow that to happen. The same goes for every single religion. We are not allowing any congregations. But what we need to understand is it is for the state governments as well as the center. What has the center been doing? Well, Maharashtra as a state government knows that it has a higher caseload. We will not allow these congregations. We have shut our temples. We are requesting people to pray in their homes. So I think Maharashtra has led this entire beyond religion congregations point from the front. And I think you should appreciate us for that. For other political parties, I cannot speak for them, but I can definitely speak for my party. And my party has kept religion out of this entire pandemic. And we are looking at treating human beings and ensuring that we as humanity stay alive and beyond this pandemic.
I'm glad you're saying all religious festivals will have to follow those rules because the rule of law must be the same for all. But Shama Mohammed, the Congress seems to be almost claiming victory, saying Rahul Gandhi has been vindicated. Rahul Gandhi warned that the corona surge will take place. Rahul Gandhi wanted the vaccine policy to be opened up. Priyanka Gandhi spoke about examinations to be cancelled. But the fact is, on the ground, whether you are in a BJP-ruled state or a Congress-ruled state, there is a crisis at the moment of hospital beds, of oxygen cylinders, of crematoriums overflowing. Why is the Congress making this COVID crisis about BJP versus Congress? Why is it now about a political blame game?
Rajdeep, as an opposition party, when we do not ask any questions, you people blame us. Now, let us look at this. Give me a few seconds, please. The sole responsibility for the mismanagement of the second wave of this coronavirus lies at the Prime Minister's doorstep. Because last year we had a lockdown for a couple of months, the most stringent lockdown. Why? To revamp our healthcare. Then we had something called the PM Care Fund, which a lot of money was collected in it during last year. So we thought our healthcare was revamped, and let's not forget the National Disaster Management Act is on. So who is in charge right now? Center. Every other country, what happens is the Prime Minister or the President are trying to save their citizens. I am not looking at any citizen, or Rahul Gandhi is not looking at any citizens as Marathi or from Chhattisgarh or from Punjab or from Kerala. Let's understand that Indians are dying today, Rajdeep Sardesai. Indians are losing their lives. The Prime Minister of this country should stop all his campaigning, get back to Delhi, have an immediate strong task force, and see to it that we get enough vaccinations. Now, what was the reason we don't have enough vaccinations? Because they were exported. Of course, when Rahul Gandhi got in and said, let's get vaccination from other vaccinations which are available to this country, what did Ravi Shankar Prasad say? You are lobbying for pharmaceutical companies. Is this the way to talk against a leader who is, like Rahul Gandhi or any opposition leader? What should they do is call in all parties, listen to the suggestions of the opposition, and let me finish.
So you're saying...
Can I just finish my points? Or okay. Yeah, I do have some more things. What I'm trying to say is
Yes, go ahead.
We produce 60% of the world's vaccinations.
Go ahead.
Okay, and in coronavirus, in the vaccinations for coronavirus, we are fourth after China, USA, and Germany. What happened to our vaccine program? Why was it that, like America was hoarding, like UK was hoarding, we were not hoarding our vaccines and vaccinating as many people as possible? Because the Prime Minister of this country only thought about his image, that he had to give gifts to many other countries, he had to sell vaccines to other countries, and completely forgot about his citizens. This is the problem, Rajdeep Sardesai. So when the Congress party takes
Can I stop you while you're raising several... you're raising several questions. Before I come to you, Raghav Chadha, I think Syed Zafar Islam, the broader question, and I think Priyanka Chaturvedi and Shama Mohammed as opposition leaders are raising it, the Prime Minister has to adopt now a more decentralized, consensual approach. Delhi doesn't know best. It appears at the moment that everything is centered around the Prime Minister and ad hoc decisions that are taken. For example, on vaccine policy, how many vaccines to export, you need to start consulting the best in the field. Do you concede that the time has come for some review, some course corrections, Zafar Islam, or do you believe the government has done a 10 on 10 perfect job? Has the time come to at least admit mistakes, course correct?
Let me respond to you, Rajiv. First of all, the Honorable Prime Minister has always looked for people's suggestion, and he has implemented it as well. If people are willing to give suggestions, all right kind of suggestions are being very, very well received by the Honorable Prime Minister on several occasions, and he has implemented it as well. Let me also respond to Priyanka Chaturvedi ji, what she was talking about BJP, because first she has to really introspect whether the Chief Minister of Maharashtra has the capability, because the lack of experience as an administrator, I think, is something which is paying and is very evident in Maharashtra, because number of cases is rising purely because he has not been able to build the health infrastructure which he had time to build, but he couldn't do that, and he couldn't anticipate the kind of the requirement would be if there is a severe second wave. Likewise in Delhi, likewise in many other states. I'm not only specifically talking about one particular state.
That's true of Gujarat also. Syed Zafar Islam. Today crematoriums are overflowing in Gujarat. For years we heard of the Gujarat model. Let's not separate. I make the same point to the opposition. BJP ruled states are also suffering.
I'm coming to that. I'm saying that it is the responsibility of the state, because the state administration has the full responsibility to build the health infrastructure, and they had sufficient time, an ample time at their hand to develop it. But Rahul Gandhi is busy in campaigning. Rahul Gandhi is busy in campaigning. Priyanka Gandhi is busy in campaigning, and today they are complaining about the Prime Minister. If you are actively campaigning in Kerala, if you are actively campaigning in West Bengal, if you are actively campaigning in Assam, why are you blaming us? You have to introspect about yourself first.
Sir, 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. Time out. Okay, I'll come to both of you in a moment. If there's crosstalk, less is heard by the audience. But Raghav Chadha is patiently waiting, and Delhi today has declared a curfew on the weekend. Raghav Chadha, is Delhi better prepared this time? Last time I recall that Delhi said, no, we have sufficient number of beds, all will be well. Eventually you had to turn to the centre for greater help. Is the Aam Aadmi Party better prepared for the second wave than you were for the first?
Thank you for finally coming to me, Mr. Sardesai. First of all, as far as the medical health infrastructure in Delhi is concerned, we are well equipped. In the last 1 week alone, the government of Delhi has increased 8,000 more beds to the existing tally of the hospital beds to treat COVID patients. And as of now, at this very moment, we have close to 15,000 beds in Delhi to treat COVID patients, roughly 35% of which are vacant. Apart from that, of course, there is a huge number of ICU beds, ventilators, etc., which are rapidly, of course, being occupied by patients.
Are you telling me that even if the numbers rise, Delhi will be able to meet the capacity? The fear is numbers will continue to spike.
Right. Of course, that is the fear. And if only you permit me to finish, you will get the response to your answer. The positivity rate, Mr. Sardesai, in Delhi has been rapidly increasing at an alarming pace. From less than 5%, we are at 18% positivity rate. And it was extremely essential to, apply brakes to this increasing positivity rate, because in the event that the rate continues to grow at this very pace, the entire medical health infra in Delhi will certainly be completely overwhelmed. And therefore, the government of Delhi has taken certain measures and implemented certain restrictions in Delhi, like the weekend curfew, etc. Now, these, apart from creating awareness, will also change patterns of behavior, and a very fine balance is being attempted by the Honorable Chief Minister between lives and livelihoods. While we wish to break the chain, we also wish to ensure that we do not break the backs of the people in the process, Mr. Sardesai. And let me in conclusion say this, just give me, I've patiently waited for my time, just give me 15 more seconds. You see, we were given to understand, Mr. Sardesai, that jab tak dawai nahi, tab tak dhilai nahi. But now we have a dawai. And the Aam Aadmi Party was the first party to raise this issue, that now that we have a dawai, a life-saving drug, why has the government of India exported 64.5 million drugs to 84 countries? Who is more important for the Honorable Prime Minister? People of Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, to whom these vaccines have been exported, or the people of India? Why not give vaccines to the people of Bengal and give vaccines to the people of Delhi, then give it to the people of Bangladesh and far-flung countries like Kenya and Nigeria? Therefore, we must adopt the model of vaccine nationalism. Look at what the US has done. US has hoarded vaccines and hoarded in a way that it can vaccinate its entire population, Mr. Sardesai, twice over. And you have a situation in India where 6.5 crore vaccines have been exported. And I conclude by saying that imagine if these 6.5 crore vaccines were administered to Delhiites today, the entire population of Delhi would have been completely vaccinated, and we would not have faced the circumstances that we're facing currently.
Remember,
Rajiv, you'll have to allow
remember
me to
these
answer,
vaccines
please.
have to go to every state. Yeah, Priyanka Chaturvedi, go ahead.
So I'll just respond to Mr. Zafar Islam because he made some unfounded charges. I'll tell him, if inexperience makes our chief minister do the highest amount of testing, then I'd rather prefer inexperience. If my inexperienced chief minister manages to give us a vaccination drive, which is leading the nation in its vaccination campaign, then yes, I'd prefer inexperience. If inexperience of a chief minister would mean that though we got lesser PPE kits, though we got lesser N95 masks, though we got lesser amount of vaccines, yet we managed to continue working in our state, then yes, I'd rather prefer an inexperienced chief minister. If inexperience also got you to, when you talk about break the chain, he managed to give a budget of 5,500 crores for all those people whose livelihoods would be impacted, then yes, I prefer an inexperienced chief minister. And if an inexperienced chief minister follows the most scientific needs and wants-based strategy for his state and is extremely transparent in his conduct, and as far as the residents of Maharashtra know where they stand, unfortunately, people of Gujarat would not know because they're being comforted by a lie. And all the leaks are coming forward and the country is watching it. So I'd rather prefer a chief minister who's honest, who's communicating directly with the people of the state. And last but not the least, he's much better off than those prime ministers and those chief ministers who keep saying me punha yen, and will just do politics over a pandemic. I'd rather prefer a chief minister who's honest and upfront. Yeah, thank you.
I want to give exactly, I have exactly 30 seconds that I want to give Syed Zafar Islam. The question that I want to ask is, can you at least tell us where the Prime Minister's CARES Fund money has gone? How many ventilators have been bought? How many oxygen cylinders have been bought? How much has been done for health infrastructure? Shouldn't the Prime Minister give a report card to the country, Zafar Islam? That's the least we expect. That's how we want this. We don't want a blame game, but at least be transparent with the people of the country. 30 seconds, Zafar Islam. Tell me, will I know when we have filed RTI after RTI, we are not getting responses?
Rajiv, first let me respond to Mr. Chadda. He is talking about that we have exported, we have supported many African countries.
No, you respond to me. I'm out of time.
No.
I'm out of time. I'm out of time.
Sir,
respond to my question.
First.
Led us into a mess.
All those reports will come. Where the money has been spent and where the money has been spent from Prime Minister Relief Fund, you will get those reports. But let me first respond. India does not exist in isolation. We need to really safeguard the interests of the humanity, not only in India but across the globe. If we do not address the concern there, same thing will come to you, and there will be 4 waves, not 3rd waves.
Okay. We'll take a break. We'll take a break before it gets out of control. I appreciate your joining us. I generally avoid political debates nowadays because we are living in tough times, but there are serious questions that the governments of the day, both at state and centre, must eventually answer. Let's take a break.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.